today's video, we will discuss the three articles of Philippine Constitution, which is the national territory, Declaration of Principle and State Policies, and Bill of Rights. So before we will start our discussion on topic, let me introduce myself. My name is Elgin Mendo.
Chris Vincent Hinaralaw,
Losaran Grace, Fortaleza Mary Rose, Christina Talandron, Racel Mahosay,
Gaboy Andrea Amor,
Kanke Selfa,
Absenal Franza.
Arnel Mendez.
and we are the Red One!
So the first article of the Philippine Constitution is the national territory. So the national territory, it implies these following. First is the Philippine Archipelago. Second is the other territories over which Philippines has sovereignty or jurisdiction. And last is the internal waters.
There are three components of national territory. Number one is the terrestrial domain. Number two is the fluvial domain. Number three is the aerial domain. And there have a code for them to easy to recognize. This is the TFA. T stands for terrestrial domain. This is the land. And F, fluvial domain. This is the water. And A, this is aerial domains. And this is the air. There have other areas including in Philippine archipelago. Number one is the territorial sea. Number two is the seabed. Number three is the subsoil. Number four is the insular shelves. Number five is the other submarine area. And same in the national theory, there is also a code. This is the TSSIO. T stands for territorial sea, S stands for seabed, and the other S stands for subsoil, I, insular shelves, and the O is the other submarine area.
So the internal waters in the Philippines. The Philippines, together with Indonesia and archipelagic countries, they made and introduced the idea of what we call archipelagic doctrine, the law of the sea. So for us to fully understand the doctrine, here is an example. So the Philippines is an archipelago, a chain of group of islands. According to archipelagic doctrine, that Philippines is one of the integrated unit instead of being divided into 7,107. For us to fully determine the internal waters of the Philippines, we have the code that we call the ABCI, or the ABCI, which stands for the A stands for around, B stands for between, C stands for connecting, and I stands for the islands of the archipelago. So now we're done with the Article 1, which is the Philippine Constitution, the national territory. Now we'll proceed to the Article 2 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, which is the Declaration of Principle and State Policies. So these articles are divided into 28 sections. The section 1 to 6 is the Declaration of Principles, and the section 7 to 28 is the Declaration of the State and Policies. So the first section.
Section 1. The Philippines is democratic and republican state. Sovereignty resides in the people, and all government authority emanates from them. Section 2. Part 1 is renunciation of war as a national policy. Part 2 is adaptation of international laws as the Philippine law. And Part 3 is adherence to the policy of peace, equality, justice, freedom. Section 3 is supremacy of civilian authority. Civilian authority at all times is supreme over the military, even when martial law is declared. And Section 4 is the role of government. The government must serve and protect the people. And Section 5 is duty of government. And Section 6 is separation of church and state.
Section 7, pursuit of an independent foreign policy. Section 8, freedom from nuclear weapons. Section 9, promotion of a just and dynamic social order. the state shall promote a just and dynamic social order that shall ensure the prosperity and independence of the nation, and at the same time free the people from poverty. Section 10. Promotion of social justice in all phases of national development. Section 11. Promotion of human rights. The state values the dignity of every human person and guarantees full respect for human rights. Section 12. Family as a basic social institution.
According to Section 13, the state recognizes the vital role of youth in nation building and shall promote and protect their physical, moral, spiritual, intellectual, and social well-being. It shall inculcate in the youth patriotism and nationalism and encourage their involvement in public and civic. In Section 14, the state recognizes the role of women in nation building and shall ensure the fundamental equality before the law of women. Section 15, the state shall protect and promote the right to health of the people and instill health consciousness among them. According to Section 16, the state shall protect and advance the right of the people to a balanced and healthful ecology in accord with the rhythm and harmony of nature. According to Section 17, the state shall give priority to education, science and technology, arts, culture, and sports to foster patriotism and nationalism, accelerate social progress, and promote total human liberation and development. In Section 18, human labor is not only treated as land, tools, or machinery. It mandates the state to provide living wage and full participation to workers in decision-making process which affect their rights and benefits.
Article number 2, Section 19. The state shall develop a self-reliant and independent national economy effectively controlled by Filipinos. Section 20. The state recognizes the indispensable role of the private sector, encourages private enterprise, and provides incentives to needed investments. Section 22. The state recognizes and promotes the rights of indigenous cultural communities within the framework of national unity and development. Section 23. The state shall encourage non-governmental, community-based, or sectoral organizations that promote the welfare of the nation. Section 24. The state recognizes the vital role of communication and information in nation building.
Section 25, Autonomy of Local Government. Section 26, Prohibition of Political Dynasties. Section 27, the state must maintain honesty and integrity in offices. Section 28, Policy of Full Public Disclosure.
So those are the 28 sections of articles in the Philippine Constitution, Declaration of Principle and State.
Done the Article 2. So now we'll proceed to Article 3. Article 3 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, which is the Bill of Rights.
Article 3, Section 1. No person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall any person be denied the equal protection of the laws. Section number 2. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures of whatever nature and for any purpose shall be inviolable, and no search warrant or warrant of arrest shall issue except upon probable cause to any determined personally by the judge after examination under oath or affirmation of the complainant and the witnesses he may produce, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Section number 3. The privacy of communication and correspondence shall be inviolable except upon lawful order of the court or when public safety or order requires otherwise as prescribed by law. Section 4. No law shall be passed abridging the freedom of speech, of expression, or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble any petition the government for redress of grievances. Section 5. No law shall be made respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, the free exercise and enjoyment of religious profession and worship without discrimination or preference shall forever be allowed. No religious test shall be required for the exercise of civil or political rights. Section 6. The liberty of abode and of changing the same within the limits prescribed by the law shall not be impaired except upon lawful order of the court.
Section 7. The right of the people to information on matters of public concern shall be recognized. Section 8. The right of the people, including those employed in the public and private sectors, to form unions, associations, or societies for purposes not contrary to law shall not be abridged. Section 9. Private property shall not be taken for public use without just compensation. Section 10. No law impairing the obligation of contracts shall be passed. Section 11. Free access to the courts and quasi-judicial bodies and adequate legal assistance shall not be denied to any person by reason of poverty. Section 12, number 1. Any person under investigation for the commission of an offense shall have the right to be informed of his right to remain silent and to have the competent and independent counsel, preferably of his own choice.
Section 13. All persons except those charged with offenses punishable by reclusion perpetua when evidence of guilt is strong shall before conviction be believable by sufficient sureties or be released on recognizance as may be provided by the law. Section 14. No person shall be held to answer for a criminal offense without due process of law. Section 15. The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended except in cases of invasion or rebellion when the public safety requires it. Section 16. All persons shall have the right to a speedy disposition of their cases before all judicial, quasi-judicial, or administrative bodies. Section 17. No person shall be compelled to be a witness against himself. Section 18. No person shall be detained solely by reason of his political beliefs and aspirations.
Section 19. Excessive fine shall not be imposed, nor cruel, degrading, or inhuman punishment inflicted. Neither shall the death penalty be imposed unless for compelling reason involving heinous crime. The Congress hereafter provides for it. Any death penalty already imposed shall be reduced to reclusion perpetual. Section 20. No person shall be imprisoned for debt or non-payment for all tax. Section 21. No person shall be twice put in jeopardy of punishment for the same offense. If an act is punished by a law, an ordinance, conviction, or acquittal under either shall constitute a bar to another prosecution for the same act. Section 22. No exposed facts law or bail of attender shall be enacted.
Hi guys! 1, 2, 3. Hi guys! Welcome to our
Chris Vincent Generalaw,
Grace Lusaran,
Fortaleza Mary Rose,
Christina Talandron,